Before the 1950s, the Rhine was still very clean and clear. People can swim and fish in the river. However, in late 1950s, due to the large-scale reconstruction work after the World War II, a large number of enterprises using the water from the Rhine and discharging large amount of wastewater back. Thus, the Rhine water deteriorated sharply, and fish completely disappeared.
For centuries, people have come to Europe's most famous waterway, the Rhine River. The Roman Emperor Julius Caesar once crossed its waters. Castles still stand along its shores. But the people who have settled along the Rhine's banks have changed the river. It was once clean. Now it's polluted. Today, factories packed along the Rhine's shores pollute the river, and much of what is washed down a nearby drain or toilet eventually ends up in the Rhine. The Rhine waters begin their flow in the Swiss Alps. The river winds its way through 6 of Europe's most industrialized countries before draining into the North Sea. The Emscher, a smaller river that flows into the Rhine, has been polluted by industrial chemicals. It has also been harmed by the 5 million people who live along the Emscher. Each home along the Rhine is also part of the problem. Petra Polta fertilizes her houseplants and then pours the remainder down the drain, which can harm fish. Petra also washes farm chemicals that kill insects from her fruit. But everything that she and 40 million other people who live along the river pour down the drain may turn up in the Rhine. The river is in such bad condition it's nearly dead. In a healthy river, this rock would be covered with small creatures. But on this Emscher River stone, only the red larvae of the waterfly are found. Marine biologists are working in this tank to try to understand the effect of Rhine pollution on fish. They have covered the bottom of the tank with polluted mud from the Rhine. Fish called flounder were then raised here. Biologist Dick Vettok shows how the polluted mud has injured some of the fish.
Okay, what we got here is a collection of diseased fish. The first one is an example of a viral infection. You can see all sorts of nodules and tumor-like lesions. The second one here is even a more severe case of the same viral infection. A big tumor-like lesion on the fin. This fish has an ulceration. The next one has tail rot. Yeah, that one seems to be quite meager.
But the problem does not end with diseased fish. The polluted fish, in turn, are eaten by other larger animals such as seals. These marine biologists are looking for seals in ocean waters polluted by the Rhine River. They sail waters called the Waddenzee, located off the coast of Holland. Some fish in the Waddenzee have been poisoned with dangerous chemicals called PCBs. Though banned in 1983, PCBs were dumped into the Rhine by plastics and electrical industries for 20 years. In experiments here, the seals ate Rhine fish contaminated with PCBs. Reinders checked the seal's blood and found that it, too, contained PCBs. Seals that have eaten PCB-contaminated fish may give birth to their pups prematurely, and there may be other harmful effects too. Rhine water returns to homes as drinking water. The water is cleaned first, but not all pollutants can be removed. Are these low levels of pollutants dangerous to drink?
In 1957, Germany made the Water Resources Act, or WHG, and completed some amendments in 2009, which came into force in March 2010. The bill specifies water quantity, quality, and management and requires sustainable economic development. The water industry should be based on public well-being and safeguard the interests of water consumers. Under the Federal Water Act, water users must obtain a government license. In addition, the German federal government has also developed a number of regulations to guide the water industry activities, such as maintaining water purity laws, sewage treatment plan, a number of water management plannings. In 1976, Germany made the Effluent Charges Act, which brings in the polluter pays principle to bear environmental costs. The charge is calculated according to the amount and harmfulness of the respective substances discharged and is controlled by the federal government in the area of water quality protection and enhancement. Berlin is Germany's largest city, with a population of over 300 million. It has a comprehensive sewage treatment system. The total length of its sewers and the sewage main channel are over 10,000 kilometers. Industrial and domestic sewage flows to sewage pumping stations through the sewers. Then the pumping stations pump the wastewater into treatment facilities. Thanks to the sewage pumping station, if the sewage regulators find enterprises or individual discharging sewage, system will refuse to accept it, thus avoid expanding pollution. Wastewater will go through 4 stages, including treatment screening, scrapping, physical purification, and biological purification before discharging the water into Berlin's rivers and lakes. In summertime, as many people swim and play in Berlin's rivers and lakes, a sterilization treatment will be added before discharging. Germany's success can be summarized into 2 aspects. First, making comprehensive laws and regulations. Second, investing heavily on pollution control and establishing regulatory bodies that cover the entire basin. To control pollution of the Rhine, in 1963, bordering countries of Switzerland, France, Luxembourg, Germany and the Netherlands signed agreement to create the International Commission on the Protection of the Rhine against Pollution, and the European Economic Community, predecessor of European Community, joined in the Commission in 1976. The Commission developed corresponding regulations to enforce treatment of industrial wastewater before being discharged into the river. It also took strict control on discharging industrial, agricultural, and domestic solid pollutants into the Rhine. The offenders would be fined up to $66,000. Surveys showed that in the end of 2002, the Rhine has been restored to the level of biodiversity before World War II. From 1980 to 2005, the relevant countries have invested a total of $27 billion to $40 billion in treating the Rhine. After years of efforts, the toxic substances in the Rhine have been reduced by 90%. At present, the river has about 60 kinds of fish, including the once extinct salmon.